You know, when you get old, maybe shit like that.
Now it usually kind of loosens up a little bit, but.
This conference will now be recorded.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. We have somebody from the public here, so. Public comment?
No, not yet.
Okay.
We haven't council today. If council will be here today. Council, be here today? Or do you know?
Probably around 11.
Okay, well, I'll wait then.
Okay. Is that all? Any others? I'm just not getting mine loaded.
Are there any public comments from anyone on the virtual meeting? If so, type them into the chat. Let's see.
Okay. Going to close that portion and go on administrative business.
Okay, in your packet, you had a really small print spreadsheet there. That's the statewide bond and indebtedness report. And then we have the minutes of September 30.
Everybody had a chance to read the minutes? Any concerns? If not, I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Second by Kent. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 4-0.
We do have one early check today. This is the down payment to be submitted with the contract for the new website that you all approved.
So, an early check in the amount of $7,000 to Civics Plus. I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Second by Randy. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
4-0.
So when you all appointed your delegates for K-Camp and KAC for the annual meetings, apparently we missed the K-Work. They will have their meeting right after K-Camp. So they would like us to appoint a voting delegate for that. So, and if you remember, I think that Randy, you're the delegate and Dave's the alternate for both of the other meetings.
They're gonna hold them simultaneously to the.
Yeah, it'll be right after. It's part of the agenda. So this K-Work is right after the K-Camp meeting.
Okay.
It's all day, huh?
I'll let Dave be the lead and I'll be the backup on that one.
Okay.
You want to make
Make
a
a motion?
I'll make that motion, yes.
Okay, I'll second that. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Over 14.
It's gonna be a full day.
Get your signature on there. And, okay.
Looked like there's another spot where there was multiple signatures. Or maybe I'm remembering something else.
This is if you want to nominate someone
Oh, okay.
for the board. Do you have a nomination?
No.
You like to serve on the board?
Okay.
No.
Okay.
No.
So, since we don't have a nomination, then we won't have to fill that out.
Glad to make a, glad to make a motion.
Diana here, should we get her?
That used to be the rule. If you
Yeah,
wanted
it
to
used to
meet.
be, wasn't it?
So that's an appointment, and generally those are just acknowledged in the meeting and in the minutes, so you would announce that.
Okay. So we have a memorandum from Joel Hansi. Dear Commissioners, please be advised that I'm appointing Susan C. Robinson as a special prosecutor for Marion County during the week of October 5th, 2020 through October 9th, 2020, as I will be on vacation. Joel Hansi.
And I have a salary sheet. This is the increase that you have previously approved.
Okay. So, salary change for Michelle Linda from $21.64 a month to $23.56 a month for annual duties.
What department?
Oh, appraisers.
It should say annual. Does it say annual?
Annual duties. but
It should
I
be
think-
additional duties.
Oh, additional. That's
Yeah,
right.
It shouldn't say annual.
I misread. I misread.
Okay. Oh, good.
Are you in the age for glasses or?
Could be annual duties.
Just let me know and I'll own up to my mistakes.
I'm glad that.
Wow. I don't know how I got a handle out of that.
They've all been,
It's all good.
always been that.
Yeah, had that, you want your stuff over there,
Well,
yeah.
I think I was looking for 6-month raise, year raise,
Yeah.
you know, those are the common ones.
Okay. Okay, in your packet, you have an EWP agreement, which is the Emergency Watershed Protection Program. We are doing a project jointly with NRCS for a couple of drainage areas, and this has been, Bryce started talking about this way back in January, February. So, we can talk about that during road and bridge time if you want to, but we finally have plans back on that, and we just need the approval. And so that was the next thing in your packet.
This is up north, right?
And any specific questions about the project itself should go to Bryce, because I don't know.
Lion Creek and 350.
There's two areas, there's two sites there. So site one is the Cottonwood River and 130th, and then site two is Lion Creek and 350th. And that's two corrects in drainage. We have already had 2 extensions on this project. Initially, we were supposed to be done by July, but we didn't even get plans back from them, and so we asked for an extension. We've been granted 2 extensions, and we will be applying for a 3rd one, because the current time frame is the end of November to have this completed. So we'll apply for a 3rd extension and hopefully have till the spring to be able to get that done.
I wonder if this is on the road north of Florence on the 130th, this is the washout I'm talking about. Is that one, that's part of this one? I don't know.
Yeah, if I may, Randy,
There we
that
go.
is correct. That is the washout on the west side of the road up there. The other one is on 350th east of Sunflower. Both of these are bank erosions that are getting close to the roadway, and so we get federal protection or federal money to help go back and fix these.
Thank you, Bryce. I thought that's one on Florence. I haven't seen the 350th yet. I haven't seen it yet.
And the actual, I put in here the budget for this because it's been so long, I wasn't sure if you remember, but the project total is estimated at $205,000. The county's portion of that is $51,250, which can be in kind. So I believe that our contribution will be materials and labor and like the equipment. So, and then we'll be getting ready to bid that out soon. So, I mean, if you're comfortable going ahead and making a motion to approve the agreement, then we can go ahead and move forward.
Comfortable. I'll make a motion to approve the agreement.
Second.
Second by Kent. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
0.
I'll have you sign on it. Very capital in there.
Yeah, that- Just go north out of Florence. Within the first half mile there, 3/4, well, it's on the west side where the river comes up against the road there.
Cemetery bridge.
Okay, I do have one more thing that was not in the packet.
No, it's further down in the cemetery, past the
Yeah,
cemetery.
that's right.
Past the cemetery.
So the storage building that was approved for the PPE on this, for the Spark funds was not approved by the state. And so we will, the Spark committee has voted to reallocate those funds to go to the business and nonprofit grant programs. And that is also where the long-term care facilities are being taken care of from. So we do have applications from six of the 7 for sure, and one of them may still be under the umbrella of another entity that has applied. So they are going to be receiving funds. We had, they did have a long discussion during the Spark meeting about potentially changing the way that funds are allocated and doing a different kind of an allocation for the long-term care facilities. But after talking about it for a long time, it wasn't clear whether they would get any more than what they're getting the way that it's already being addressed. And so they voted to leave it that way. But they have voted to reallocate these funds, so now for us to actually officially amend the plan, the commission needs to also vote on that. And so,
I will make a motion to,
here, I don't know if you want to read out what they did, but that's,
I've seen this.
okay.
I will make a motion to take the Spark Task Force recommendation and reallocate the funds for the PPE building to put it in the business grant and the nonprofit grant.
Was it total dollars? What are we looking at? I can't remember.
34,000.
34,000.
I'll second that.
Second by Dave.
It's $33,473, I believe, and then they would allocate that into those 2 programs as stated in that
As
letter.
far as I know, just discussion, they hadn't ordered the building, so the funds have not been used. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay,
0.
thank you. All right, we were going to have you review the roofing bids today and award. However, we're still in the process of compiling those. We had a little bit of a short week with the meeting being in the middle of the week. And then also we're waiting on the insurance company to tell us how they want us to proceed. So we have contacted insurance. We've sent them the pertinent information and they're gonna let us know what they want us to do. So we'll have to put that on hold until next week, okay? And then the last thing that I have, you had taken action a few weeks ago to have us bid out the liability insurance for the county. We're with K-Camp right now. I am wondering if maybe the commission would be willing to just keep things as are for this next year and then bid it the following year. I'm a little bit concerned about timing just because of the election and everything else we have going on. I'm not sure that we'll be able to get things turned around timely for that. So I'm just kind of curious if maybe we could delay that action to bid for until next year.
What was the due date on that?
Well, we don't really have a due date, but we're entering our information into the system for K-Camp right now. And then the insurance companies are gonna want probably 60 days, and we would have to develop a spec, and we would need that before, to be able to let K-Camp know before December, so.
Well, in light of the workload that the clerk's office is under at the present time, I would be in agreement to that.
I mean, if you really want to do it, we will get it done, but I think it's just gonna be pushing quite a bit. And then we have some things that the insurance is handling that we're right in the middle of too, and it would be maybe not the best time to make a switch, so.
I second that, Ken. I have.
I'll make that a motion.
Okay. I'll second.
So hold off until next year to get liability quotes.
Okay, thank you.
Still a second, by right?
Yes. Yes.
Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
4-0.
Okay, thank you. All right, I believe that's all I have on administrative.
Right. I guess we'll move on to Bryce. You still on there?
Yes,
All right, we'll go on to Road and Bridge.
okay.
Hey, Bryce.
Follow up
Bryce.
with the commission, wow.
Hey, Bryce.
Yeah, he's got an echo.
I think you've got maybe more than one computer on down there. You may need to turn speakers off on one
Okay,
and
is
microphone.
that better?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. All right, first of all, I wanted to follow up mainly, I guess, with Randy on that TA project. You were going to talk to people about that stone bridge up north of 310th and Wagon Wheel.
Yeah.
Did the commission make a decision how you want to proceed?
I just didn't find nobody that's in agreement with us doing it up there, so.
Okay,
That's my concern, that nobody up there really wants to see that put into place, where they should be here speaking out for it.
okay. Rest of the commission?
Yeah, I don't see you need to spend any more time on it.
Okay,
You know, if we need to do something like close the road or whatever, you know, bring that up, but.
okay.
I don't
All right,
see that.
not a problem. We won't proceed with the active grant then, and we can use the money for some other place. So, okay, fine with me. A couple weeks.
What? We won't, there's no money being allotted for that, is there?
Well, our share.
No. We just had to submit a concept to the state. They in turn, if they found it worthwhile, said, okay, now you submit the actual plan and project for that. So yes, we're out nothing all the way around.
Okay, thank you.
So, I asked 2 weeks ago if any of you had any ideas on bridges that you think need to be replaced. We have the Kansas Local Bridge Improvement Program. It's a 90% federal or state federal money, $150,000 max for us, but they're looking to try to replace low volume roads. I've got them all over the county making list of whatever else, but I didn't know if any of you had any ideas of bridges in your area that would be good candidates. I mean, like I said, I've got probably 15 to choose from, so.
Bryce, how many low water bridges that's been concreted by, let's say, 20 years ago, 25 years ago, do we have in our county? Is that a low volume, not necessarily low volume, but?
You're talking about like low water crossing?
Yes,
and stuff?
where they've cemented,
Okay.
put tubes in and cemented, and that's what you're driving across?
Yeah. I don't know for sure how many we have. I know of 2, I believe, off the top of my head. The problem with those is, in order to take those out and build a bridge across there, it's going to be way above the $150,000 because we're going to have 2 costs. One is removing that thing, and then obviously putting another bridge. And this program here is set up, like I said, $150,000 max, so that doing something like that with money would cost the county a significant amount of money, but that is still an option.
Right. I just wondered, because I know of one that's in terrible condition, and we've patched it, and it seems like the ones that I've seen seem to be doing similar things, like cracking and breaking, and then there's one on a road right close to the city limits of Peabody that's probably don't need to be there. We probably don't need to maintain anymore, but I think we need to address that with the city probably and see if they would be okay with closing it down.
Okay. Yeah, those low water crossings, they provide a benefit, but they do go through a tremendous amount of wear and tear. One of the biggest things we deal with is just is the drift on the top end, and then the tubes basically don't need help at all, and then the water's going over the road all the time. So they do withstand a tremendous amount of wear and tear, that's for sure.
I mean, and I think that's why they was put in, because nobody could afford to put the bridge back over.
Sure. And they do provide a service for the most part. So,
yes.
But anyway, like I said, I'm still looking. We've got till the 26th to get that turned in, so it shouldn't be a problem. But yeah, just remind you, if any of you come up with an idea or want to, just let me know. We'll sure look at it.
Fracture critical bridges won't be acceptable on this plan.
No, that's another alternative too, and we've got several of them around that we can look at. So again, that's some of them on the list that we have. So
okay.
What I was looking at is right now, just on the report from 2018, I've got 6 of them that are 6 bridges that are rated at 3 ton. And so obviously, if we're going to put our money into it, that might be place to start, just to look at the worst ones. So anyway, like I said, if you guys come up with something, just let me know. We'll sure look at it, throw it in the mix. And
so you're saying you have 6 possible. Why don't you give us a location of these 6 so we can pass it to all the commissioners so we can take a look at it?
Well, one of them is on 340th east of K15, and we actually have 3 culverts down there that are in bad shape. We've actually talked about just closing the road because we don't have a lot of traffic through there, and we've got 3 bad structures. One of them was the Stone Arch Bridge at 310th and Wagon Wheel. We have one at between Diamond and Eagle on 280th. I have one at 160th between Holly and Indigo. That's been a bad area for quite a while with flooding and stuff. The culvert is way down low in the road. We've looked at that for a year and a half. Had another one, 170th from Alfalfa to Blue Stem, and I believe we turned that in last year and didn't get anything either. That's actually a bridge followed by a culvert right at the bottom of the hill, so tremendous amount of water. And then lastly, 80 to 90th on Holly. So, like I said, that's just the one that are at 3 ton. I've got another 6 that are 4 and 5 ton. So,
Bryce, what are the costs of those railroad tankers now?
they're on average run about $250 a linear foot. That's just a rough shot. That includes delivery and stuff. The biggest thing there is we have to have a deep enough channel to drop those in there and or provide enough cover going over the top of it. So they work real well for deep channels because you don't have to cover up so much. But and those we can get those roughly within a couple weeks to a month usually. They're a good alternative for certain areas, but you always got to watch out for high volumes and too, so then you can still cause a lot of drift buildup.
And do
So-
we have a new procedure, since we're taking some out that was put in, do we have a new procedure to get clearance?
Well, that's definitely an issue. Not only with county permits, but with certain areas like obviously the one that we're dealing with deals with Cottonwood River. So those are obviously going to kick you into the next step. Most of these will be tributaries and stuff like that. We won't have as much permitting to do, but yes, we will definitely take care of that before we get to there.
Okay.
So anyway, like I said, well, and if you want this list, I can photocopy it or whatever you want to, send it to you and let you look at it. But like I said, we've got plenty to choose from. So their big push is they're looking for essentially low volume roads to where they wouldn't spend as much money. They're actually, said over half of them are 100 vehicles a day or less. So that would constitute a lot of our dirt and low volume gravel roads. So anyway, like I said, we've got till the 26th, so we've got some time.
Bryce,
So,
why don't you go ahead and send that list to,
okay,
on a no reply to all the
All right.
commissioners.
okay, sounds good. Brad talked to you last week about the unreal easement up there. I've sent you a lot of information last week. Any idea how the commission wants to proceed with that yet?
Do you have any idea what is there even an option to buy out the ground?
Oh yeah, that is definitely an option, but I don't know what that cost would be. So.
I mean, I think we ought to know that number because if it's less than a bridge, I mean that's
Yeah.
it's less than.
Yeah, that's something I can follow up with them and find out acreages and stuff like that. But yeah, there's so many things out there that we can do. Obviously, time is of the essence, is why I was asking. So.
But haven't they agreed to an easement?
Well, they originally did. Well, I should say one of the members originally did, and then they got more family members involved, and they got their lawyer involved, and there's a lot of the questions that were brought up, and so I don't know, what's the best option. I mean, to say the best would it be the least expensive? Again, there's all kinds of things involved with that one. So I can find out what the amount of that property would be and get an idea of what that value may be and get back with you. So. But definitely a difficult situation all the way around. So, all right, I'll get back with you on that. Let you know kind of what's going on. We've been blade patching for the last several weeks. This will probably be our last week due to the fact is we're upward in the neighborhood of 10,000 tons of cold mix right now, and so we're getting at the extents there. The other thing is, with end of this week, we're going to drop temperatures and they're going to cut us off on oil. So we'll probably be done blade patching and have to go back with our super patch material. So hopefully this week we've got a crew out hand patching on night out today to try to keep that going too. So we've kind of been putting rebuilds on hold now until we can get this blade patching done because of lack of help. We've taken guys off of sign crew and culvert crew just to flag and run equipment out there. So also we've been hitting mowing pretty hard. Durrani's been going full speed on all the mowing out there. We've got to get ready for winter time and get rid of the the windrows as much as you can, as well as tall grass for drift if they ever had any problem. Kent, you had asked 2 weeks ago about a porta patcher. I checked into them, and basically you can get anywhere down from a 2-ton clear up to, I believe, a 10 or a 20-ton. But honestly, I think the thing is that we're not going to get the benefit of that. If it was just patches here or there like we do with our high performance patching, it would be all right. But that's really not meant to be heated up, just due to the polymers are in there. The other thing is I think we would be refilling it so fast that that's all we would be doing. Because even you look at the fact is our dump trucks, we're putting down probably 8 to 10 tons every time we dump a truck. And so, I don't know if we get the benefit of that for the cost. Now, if we were doing stuff in the city or whatever else, I think that might be, a little more beneficial, but I just don't see it in working for us. So, go ahead. Nothing? Okay. As far as contracting rock, have you guys come up with any idea if you want me to contract rock and how much? Or I say contracting rock, I should say more hard rock. Do you want to get more hard rock, or do you want to stick with local or the best price? Any thoughts there?
I think we have to keep pursuing the hard rock option. How much of it though, I don't know.
Do you need recommendations from Bryce? Like the tonnage?
Yeah.
What he thinks we need?
Were you going, maybe I missed it, were you going to get us what we had done this year? As far as
For the hard rock, I gave you that spreadsheet, was it last week or 2 weeks ago? That's what we did in hard rock. Now that was a little over half of what we originally talked about doing, just to get those down. So, we're obviously still watching those, but again, it's up to the budget thing of where we are. Again, every time we start contracting rock, we spend more money simply because of, the outside hauling, but we do get more rock hauled, so.
I guess I hear it from both sides, there's people that talk about the hard rock, and then there's other people that if we just seen more rock. So,
would you be planning on stockpiling some of that hard rock then?
Well, that's the whole point. The time to get the hard rock's in the wintertime when you got people hauling to get salt. They haul salt out east, and then they bring back rock on the backhaul. So yeah, that's the time to do that. If and when they're hauling salt, you never know how bad a winter it's going to be. But any kind of moisture or freezing or whatever else is they're hauling salt, that's when we get the stuff. It's a much better price.
Then could we strategically stockpile that instead of just in one location?
Oh yeah, we've got places all over the county. All we'd have to do is specify how many tons we want in certain locations. I've talked to KDOT. They're receptive to using some of their mixing strips, which would be even better because that would be a hard surfaced area to drop on. We wouldn't lose as much material. So yeah, like I said, it's, I guess I can run a whole bunch of hypothetical situations on how much you want or whatever else. Obviously with Harshman's opening up another quarry, they said that's very good rock and it would be a little bit closer. So again, it's based on the price or the distance that they're hauling, so, but let me work up some kind of numbers we're looking at, and then I can hopefully get back with you and we can make a decision. As far as making the material, I guess every quarter I talked to said, yeah, not a problem. They'd even take contracts into the first of the year. As far as taking that, all the contract is more of a formal letter to them saying exactly how much we're going to want for the year, at least that amount. Let's put it that way. So,
Bryce, when were we planning on starting on crushing that concrete?
Probably not until after the first of the year due to the budget. I could probably let it before the end of the year, but I don't think it'll be a problem getting any of that done. From what I've been told, within a couple of weeks, they could have it crushed. So,
And was all of that gonna be used for base, or is that something we can overlay with?
well, it'll all be used for base. The majority will be crushed in a 2 to 3 inch range. I'd also like to crush in it or whatever else, somewhere in the neighborhood of a 3 to 6 for a larger rock. And then also some of the pieces, as long as we don't have exposed steel, we could use for riprap or big fill areas. So again, that's kind of open to whatever else. The majority of it works great for base rock, and then you top it off with a little smaller rock and sand. So I could crush it. I could crush it into a 3/4 or 1 inch. The problem is it doesn't hardly have any of the binder material with it, so it doesn't stay in one spot. It moves around a lot, like putting a bunch of marbles out on the ground. So there's other things that work better. So I was looking here a while back. I actually found a tractor that I would be interested in. It's a John Deere tractor from Prairie Land Partners. It's a John Deere 4240. It actually has, when they took it in, they didn't realize it, but they had to go through and rebuild the motor. They'll offer it to us at $26,500. I've checked with Lang as well as Can Equip and up at Durham. And this is a 144 horse tractor, would work well for our mowers as well as that. More than likely, I'm probably going to get rid of we're going to get rid of the John Deere with the boom mower on it. We're having nothing but problems with both the mower and the tractor. It's going on 13 years old, so it's probably time to get rid of that. So I guess I would like to ask the commission to be able to purchase that.
How much do you perceive getting out of the other unit?
You never know. I think on the Tiger, when we sold it, it was like $6,000–7,000, if I remember right. This one here, I would hope to expect a little bit more because it is a newer tractor. The other one was about 22 years old. This one's running on 13, but it all depends on who's looking for them and who wants them. But I can tell you, looking at equipment online, stuff like that, that a lot of people are selling these that are a lot newer than ours. That is either the fact is they want to turn them over faster, or they're just having the same issues we are. So they're kind of a high maintenance operation with that big boom sticking off the side. And I think as much as anything else, this tractor we have on there probably isn't big enough to be able to do what we want to do with it. So,
Would it be better to sell them separately?
No, not really, because they're kind of matched towards the tractor per se. I mean, they're totally mounted on the tractor. In order to turn around and mount it on a tractor, you probably spend as much as what you would buying a new one. It's a lot of labor hooking up the hoses and things like that. So that's why you buy them as a group.
Did you say what you thought you'd get out of it? Okay.
The Tiger, like I said, was about $6,000–7,000. I would hope this maybe push 10,000, but you never know. It depends on who's looking at it and who's interested. So
Is that a 100 horsepower tractor?
the which one?
The one that we would be getting rid of?
Yeah, I would believe it'd be pretty close to that. I'm not for sure exactly what it is, but this one here would be a bigger tractor and a heavier tractor, more horsepower.
Is that a front wheel assist?
No.
Holy cow, those things are like gold.
Well, this one originally was going to be down around the 20,000, but then they had to turn around and put that to rebuild the motor back in there. So
You're talking about the one to get rid of.
Right.
Kent's talking about the one to get rid of, not the one to purchase.
Right, I'm talking about the one you get rid of.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry that. I don't think that one is like off the top of my head. I don't think it is either. That John Deere tractor that we have now with that boom mower on there, from what I understand, it has just been an absolute lemon. Overheating and motor problems and hydraulic problems, and then the mowers go through a lot of excessive wear just trying to do what they're doing, so.
That tractor was around 100,000, so if it's 13 years, it cost us $8,000 a year to use. When we bought it, and it has had motor troubles and heating problems and stuff. I'm not doubting that. It's not been a choice piece of equipment that was supposed to be a proven thing. We was trying to get something that was as good as the Tigers when we bought that, and we didn't end up with it.
So with a rebuild on a tractor of that age, what kind of warranty do you get on the only thing you get is a warranty on the engine, right?
Yeah, I mean, and I'm gonna say that's gonna be the majority of the problems. Obviously, we're buying through a dealership so that we'd at least have somewhat of a backing there, as compared to, you know, Purple Wave, whatever else, you buy what you get and you don't know for sure, so.
And we're getting along okay with the used tractors that we've bought in the past?
Yeah, I mean, the front wheel assist, we've been pulling that Roan discless. All we just had a broken drawbar on that. Come to find out, it was already cracked before, and they just spot welded it back together. But other than that, we haven't had any problem with that. So that's been it. The older white that we're using out there, it's, you know, obviously as old as it is, it's nothing major, more leaky tire more than anything else. But like I said, buying through it here, we're going to, you know, a lot better support than the marketplace.
I'm losing you, Bryce.
Oh, I'm still here.
All right. Hold on. There's commission one. You want to see a more?
So you didn't really bid that, you just called around?
Well, yeah, like I said, we've been looking at this, you know, for quite a while, since summertime, and I just, like I said, this just got to the point of it finally got done, and I keep checking with all the other dealers, and none of them have tractors in this kind of range we're looking for. They're typically either, you know, 70, 80 horse or less, or 150 horse or more.
New price on a unit?
A tractor of this size, new, would probably run 125 to 150,000, I'm guessing. And honestly, I don't think that's a good use of. I mean, you're buying so much in the top end. We don't need tractors like that. All of them today are coming with, you know, the GPS and all the other electronic stuff, and we don't need that. We just need to be able to pull stuff. I mean, other than the fact is you could send up a lease purchase, whatever else, a lot longer, but I just don't think that's a good use of money either.
The case tractor that we have was quite a deal through Longhorn, well, whatever their name is over there in Hillsboro. We had a dollar lease on it, and then we purchased it. But I didn't know whether they've got any more kind of leases like that was.
We keep open for those too, and we haven't found them. So if we could get another tractor like that, it'd be great. But with the economy being like it is, I don't know if that's ever going to happen again. But
Right. So this unit, is it a front wheel assist also?
it is not.
It's not. Is that a problem?
No, because what we were looking to do with it is, if we keep the flail mowers and the boom mowers up on the roadway, it's not near as issue. You get down into the ditches with pulling the back wing, that's really where the front wheel just comes into play, coming in and out of the roadway.
So this is a big enough tractor you could also use for rebuilds and that sort of thing?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's our Case and the Challenger we have, they only run about 120, 125 horse. So this horsepower wise, we even look better than that.
I don't know.
What's your equipment budget look like right now?
We really haven't purchased much this year. we did put that, rebuild that motor grader on there, but, I mean, if you guys want to wait on, I totally understand. I just had the option to pick this one up.
You did what now with the 70,000 that we spent last week? You did, where'd you
We
put that?
We put that into our on our equipment fund as be able to keep that machine for, you know, hopefully another 10, 15 years.
Well, I didn't misinterpret you. I thought you said you took the money out of there for that 68,000 or so.
Yeah, it
Transfer.
was paid
That's
out of
what it said.
it was paid out of the special equipment fund.
Okay.
Right. But if you guys want to hold off on it, that's fine. I just,
And speaking about that, Bryce, please change your policy on letting us know. I mean, we see a bill for 70,000. We don't understand. We didn't see the grader. We don't know whether it was valued. Just let us know. Get on board with you. I mean, I think it's some maybe
Right,
it's
and-
good decisions, but we need to be on board with you.
yeah, I understand, or, you know, understand that concern. What we were looking at is that motor grader's been sitting there about a year and a half. We kept wanting to get it into our shop to get it done. There for a while, we had 5 and 6 motor graders broke down again, all set at the shop. And so, we made the decision to do that. And obviously, yeah, we should have let you know about it, but, now we've got a machine that's gonna be good shape for 10, 15 years, we're hoping. So, anyway, well, I'll just hold off on this John Deere for now, and, we'll keep going with other stuff. I was contacted by the Ramona Fire Department. They're looking to put in a buried tank up there for water support for the fire department. They asked if we would be able to help them dig and or set this tank. I guess we did the same thing up at Center School when they set the one up there. We helped with our equipment. I don't think it'd really take too much to do that, but I just wanted to make sure that there wouldn't be a problem with the commission if we did that.
I don't have no problem with it. If it's at a time we can handle it.
Yeah, and that's, they are in no big hurry. They're talking, you know, next, you know, even a couple months, whatever the case may be. They're gonna get one of those tanks also that we get and put that in the ground. We just wanted to make sure that no one have a problem with it. You know, we've done it in the past, so.
If there was no
No
issues
problem.
in the past before, then I don't see why there'd be anything.
Okay, well, and I told him, I said we would help out if and when we could, and obviously we wouldn't make it a priority for us, but if we were there to make it work, so. Okay. No problems then?
No. I
Okay.
don't think so. I'm not
All right,
seeing any.
finally, it's kind of, I don't know exactly what's gonna happen yet, but just keep you in the loop. The city of Florence has applied for FEMA money to clean out the drift underneath the Cottonwood River Bridge east of town. It's the old Highway 50 heading east out of town. In order for them to get FEMA money, it has to be put on the National Bridge Inventory as being inspected. As far as we can tell, well, not we, but KDOT says that bridge has never been inspected since it's been given back to the city. It is inside the city limits, so the way I understand it was, it's still considered a minor collector according to the route designation. And with the city of Florence being a small enough population, is they cannot, I believe it was, they cannot own a bridge or maintain a bridge or whatever else according to the rules. Therefore, by default, it falls to the county. Now, again, this kind of caught KDOT off guard because they were not aware of this either. So, the fact is that as soon as we get done here, I got to make a call up there to KDOT and talk to them about this as to how and whatever else we proceed. Obviously, the bridge is inside the city limits, but if it now falls to the county for taking over that responsibility, I don't know. It could be kind of a legal thing also. I don't know for sure how that will transpire, because I've sent a message to Brad about that too. So anyway, I just want to give you some idea that that's what's in the works. I will have more information by next week. We probably also face the same situation with the city of Peabody on the bridge going south of town over Doyle Creek. That is a city bridge also, and I'm guessing that it probably hasn't been inspected a long time, and KDOT was looking into that also. So with that, I don't know more information to follow. Obviously FEMA money could be used. I believe that they've said Road and Bridge has actually helped down at Florence before, getting rid of some drift, but like I said, I don't know. I'll have some more information hopefully next week.
Right,
So-
so you were looking at being able to inspect bridges. Are you getting close to that at all, or?
Well, actually, I told you, I think 2 weeks ago, that the class that I was going to down in Texas for the on-site bridge inspections was canceled due to COVID.
Okay.
And so I did talk with KDOT. They are hopefully going to have classes back in Kansas next year, but nobody knows for sure with the pandemic going on. So I do know that the CIT inspection school that I went to this year, that's all going to be done online also. So that may be the new things, but as soon as I find out, I will get re-registered and get back into that. Cook, Platte, and Strobel is starting to do our inspections as we speak, so we'll get those done for this 2-year cycle also. So, if you guys have anything else, that's all I had.
Bryce,
Yeah.
I've got an issue that's on the agenda of quality control. That has something to do with you and things we
Okay.
need to do. If you can be there at that time, well, I appreciate it.
Okay.
And that's one issue that I'd like you to be on, if you can.
Good. I'm gonna plan on being in the office doing permits and stuff all day today, so.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Nothing else?
Well, very good.
Okay.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Bryce. All right. So, Gayla, is she gonna come in?
I can get a hold of
Okay. Come on in, Gail. Just went looking for you. You're all right.
Was I at 9:45 or 10?
Yeah.
Okay, 10.
Very unusual, we're on time.
Well, yeah, when I knew Bryce was coming, I thought, oh, hopefully I'll get on at 10. So, sorry, good thing I came over a little bit earlier then, anyway.
Right on time.
All right, good morning.
Morning.
Well, I don't know, I don't have, unless you have some questions, just the one thing, we did here on September 2nd is I got together with Renee Reedy in Dickinson County, and we did this virtual presentation for pre-retirement and had 15 people participate in that, and that worked out really well. I had thought about doing it in person, and then that was kind of when we were having kind of an uptick of cases, and I just thought, I don't know about that. So just decided to go that route, and had about as many people as we've had in the past. So, and some of the people commented that they were kind of happy that we had done it this way. So hopefully next year we can do it in person again. Getting ready to do prescription drug enrollment. That starts next Wednesday, I believe, Wednesday, Thursday. And doing that a little bit different this year. We sent out in our newsletter a form for people to fill out and mail back to me. And so what I'm doing is, I'm gonna do their comparisons, and then I'll call them, and then they can set up an appointment if they feel comfortable coming into my office, or I can mail it to them and we'll discuss it over the phone. So whatever they feel comfortable doing about that. Today was the end of the farmer market checks, and so I'll be sending in that paperwork. And this would have been our 60th year of celebrating SCMC, and so that's not happening until next year. So I don't know if you have any other questions. We've been doing some transporting of people, and seems to be working. And
Did you happen to record that retirement meeting?
we were thinking about it. I have to ask her, because I had Renee deal with
Okay.
that, and we talked about it, and then we were gonna watch it back to see
Okay.
if we were happy with it.
Let me know if you did.
Okay, all right, I will do that, so.
I don't have no more questions.
Okay,
Thank
all
you.
right, now you're really ahead of time.
Yeah. Yeah. Take a 5-minute recess. Or 10-minute. 10-minute recess. Deidre's not on there, so it's gonna take a second. I was trying to find her and get her glued in when I had a schedule.
Find what?
Deidre, couldn't find her number fast enough to text her.
You should listen to it. Maybe not.
I think at one time they could have had that bridge inspected, but the city wouldn't, it was too tight. I was thinking like $50,000, they could have all that shit taken care of. So you probably talk to the mayor, but you really want to know what's going on, talk to Bob Gale. Just telling you, Bob Gale, he's one that they kicked, they rooted out of there, so, but he knows all about it.
It stays.
Catch that,
Huh?
that bridge.
The phone?
Yeah, he was talk to Bob Gale.
Cameras coming on.
Hi.
Yes.
This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, yes, back from recess, we're gonna go ahead and move on to the health department. Deidre?
That's of course.
Yeah. This one, Mike's still in this one.
I'm surprised how much that's worth.
She was she jumped on because I called her, and then she had something else she needed to take care of, and she said she'd be right back, so.
Okay. Years old when he passed away. Well, that was his life.
Yeah.
And his mother, he lived with his mother and dad for all his life.
Well, all the way up to.
Yes. Deidre?
Deidre, are you ready?
The Honda,
Yeah,
I think it was some.
Honda 90.
I will tell you, this is just a follow-up. She had brought that one-time wage adjustment. She has received a grant for it, and you had wanted to check with the council to make sure we weren't going to set any policy that would be detrimental to the county. He said this is allowed under FLSA, and it would not change any designation as far as overtime is concerned. He just said that it would be a one-time adjustment, and it was, you know, the reasoning is that going above and beyond the call of duty or something to that effect. So he was gonna send a memo, but I don't think he ever did that. But he did say that
Brad
if
has.
the board was okay with it, he didn't have a problem with it legally, so.
Okay. Does that clear up though? I know we were having a discussion about it being salary. Did we want to go ahead and allocate it that way, or was it best to leave it? Or am I talking about the second? There's two grants that she had.
Okay, she's there now.
Okay. Yeah. Better just let her. Deidre?
Yes.
Okay. All right. We were just talking about your grants. Can you go ahead and refresh which grant we're talking about?
Okay, sure. On July, I sent a memo to the commission regarding the funding allocation and application through KDHE, ELC, COVID-19 staffing and infrastructure support designed for local health departments in Kansas for COVID response. And after meeting with Tina and Ashley, I met with you guys on the 14th, and at that time it was decided that language had to be right to initiate the adjustments, and the salary adjustments were actually for March through June, so that's the fiscal year 2020, which ends in June. And my FSR, or financial status report, for that period is due October 15th. So I do need to report out whether the money's going to be spent or whether the money has to be sent back.
I think if I recall, thinking of the right grant, we were okay with it as long as it didn't break any of our own policies, right?
Right.
So, anybody have anything else? Motion to approve?
Yeah. Because we need authorization from you all to pay the extra wages if that's your desire.
Want to make that motion?
I'll go ahead and make the motion to approve that allocated amount.
Salary.
Salary.
I'll second it.
A motion and a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed?
Aye.
3-1.
Okay.
All right.
So I was gonna also give you a little update. As of 7:30 this morning, we're at 76 positive confirmed PCR cases, 11 active, and currently 0 hospitalizations. The dashboard will be updated and released around 4 o'clock this afternoon. Data reported by KDHE on 10/2, including the date of 10/2, PCR positives were 69, with 1402 PCR negative tests and 1471 total PCR tests, for a positive percentage of 4.69%. That will obviously be updated today through KDHE.
So that dropped us from 4.9 the other day, Wednesday, to 4.6 correct?
Right, 6-9, but however, I think that might increase just a tad with what occurred over the weekend.
Okay.
I mean, not necessarily, when I said what occurred, I meant the positives that were reported.
But we're staying below the 5%, correct?
I'm hoping we will. I'm hoping that the 5 additional cases that were added, I'm hoping that we'll have numerous negative tests that will keep that percentage down. Any further questions?
Seeing no on the head shakes, so I'm guessing that's all.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Deirdre. All right. So, commission executive session of county appraiser position.
Yeah, you had said you wanted to delay something till this week, but nobody ever told me what, if any information you needed from me, so I don't have anything new for you unless.
I think we had everything. We
Okay,
just
you just need to talk.
Yeah.
Okay.
The decision wasn't getting made that day, so
Okay.
we just needed to ponder it.
I got a text message from Brad. He says he'll be here around 10:30-ish.
Okay.
So, did you want to go ahead and do your?
All my stuff's on a briefcase. Does anybody know the rate of pay of everybody? Do you know that?
I can bring you that folder that you had before. I took it out.
Trying to remember where I put mine. I give it. I think I handed it back.
Just what you,
Yeah, I think you handed it back. So,
Okay.
tell
Hey.
you extra.
Hold on, Nick. That's not, don't distribute that. This is okay, so I'll go ahead and make a motion. I move that we recess into executive session in order to discuss personal matters, non-elected personnel, applicant selection for the appraiser's office for, how long you guys think? 20 minutes?
Yeah.
With the board. Yeah, pursuant to KSA 75-4319B.
Second. Go ahead.
Second by Kent. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 4-0.
okay, we'll be back at 10:36.
Just some time.
This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, out of executive session, no action taken. This time, I move that we recess into executive session in order to discuss item number 2, consultation with the attorney-client privilege, potential litigation.
Let's talk for about 15 minutes to begin with.
15 minutes with the board, Brad, Pat, pursuant to KSA 75-4319B.
Second.
Second by Randy. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay. You said 15
Thanks, Dave.
minutes?
He's learning well.
Okay, so we'll be back at 10:55.
This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, out of executive session, no action taken. Let's move on to.
Hold on a second. We did excuse Pat from
Oh,
the meeting.
oh yeah, that's right. Let's make note of that. We excused Pat from the meeting at 10:48 from the executive.
Yep.
So, moving on, that's commission discussion on quality control.
Okay.
This is Randy's item.
Yes, I received a phone call and
For someone?
Bryce, are you available?
I'll be back on
Yeah, I'm here.
here. Okay.
Okay. And this is, I'd like you to check your tickler system for 1179 or 78. Indigo. See, this person says that he has contacted the county about this problem. And what it is, and this is not under your control when we did this, Bryce. We redid the Indigo here a couple years back or 3. And apparently we left for about 100 yards. I've got a picture of it here. I think maybe I passed it before the meeting around, and I can show anybody. We have a roadside that has got 7 to 8 inches for about 100 yards long of right-of-way that's, when you come off the blacktop, you drop 7 to 8 inches. It's caused 2 accidents, but I asked this person, does he know whether either one was reported? He said no. They both spun out, spun around, and got lucky and didn't hit nobody, crossed the center line. One took his mailbox out, and so it's accidents. It's not reported on this road, but yet it's caused, and you can see the marks on right now north of this driveway, about 150 foot, 200 foot. You can see where the person come back up on the road out of this ditch or problem, and then spun around sideways in the road. The marks are still there. His problem was, he said, I went down, turned it in, and to the person across the desk, across from your office, Bryce, and he received a response that I will not say here in public. I will talk to you, and you can determine whether that was appropriate response.
Okay.
My problem is it was not appropriate for me. But what it brought up to me is, that's why this name is quality control here, is all of our employees that sits at desk, that takes complaints, sheriff's officers that takes complaints. Let's try to talk to the people. Let's try to, anybody in our county system, even us commissioners, when somebody turns a complaint in, even though we all get them, we need to make sure that we try getting an answer back to them to satisfy their information. If they was nice enough to report a problem, we should be nice enough to say, well, it's being looked at or handled or something. So that's why quality control come up. I mean, I think it touches every county employee, commissioner, and department heads in this way. And so, but I've got a picture here, Bryce, on my camera, and I'll let you see it, of tape measure, and it's 7 to 8 inches drop off along that 100 yards that's causing this problem. And this guy don't know, he built a new house there, and he don't know whether they're looking at his property and driving off the side or what. But he's concerned about it, that somebody's going to get killed because their culvert's about 100 yards further north of his house, and he don't want to see somebody down in there in an accident. So, but our other thing that I'm going to request of you is, I drove from this place south to the county line, and I only seen 1 or 2 more places, but this place needs to be fixed immediately. I mean, this week, because tomorrow may be too late. And I'm hoping I can get the commission's approval to give you that directive. That's, in my sense, that's how important this spot is.
Well, I would go ahead and make that directive.
And so, I think it's gonna take 2 foot wide rock for this 100 yards and 8 inches deep to soften this up or do something to it. Whatever you think's necessary to do to make us not, you know, get us out of the hot water as far as I'm concerned, Bryce.
Is this so you're saying this was edge drop off?
Yes.
Okay.
So-
Then it brings up the concern too is, I agree with you, why, I say not just in this one area, why is it so bad in this one area? So that's something we look at.
That's quality
Honestly,
control after a project's done. We should have looked at this, because this isn't just being washed out or anything since then. We should have noticed that when the project was done.
Okay. Well, I mean, so you think it's been there, I say that when we redid Indigo, that's been numerous years ago, it's been there since then, is what you're saying?
2 or 3 years ago, yes.
Okay, okay. Do you have any idea when he says he called in?
Yes, I do have approximate time and everything, and so, but he was in the office himself.
Okay. Well, I was just
I'll
looking.
discuss that with you later, but
Okay.
I think maybe the directive I'd like, besides this getting done, is we don't need to tell people other than just take their problems down, and if it's a secretary, it needs to be passed to you, the superintendent, or the assistant superintendent, who's ever in charge.
Sure, yep.
So anyway,
Okay.
that's just quality control, though. I mean, I think that affects a whole county. We don't stop and think about that, but it really hit me after I looked at this, and then quality control. How much quality control do we do? Do we take care of our equipment? That reverts to taking care of our equipment and things like that. That's quality control. So I just hope everybody realizes we're all working to do something good. So.
All right. No, I agree with you. I mean, it doesn't matter who it is calls in, we need to be professional. So.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, I'd love to see the picture, and obviously, yeah, we'll go take care of that as soon as we can, whether it's a commission objective or not. It's something that needs to be done. So, Indigo has a lot of traffic, and it can be affected by that.
Well, like I said, I'm hoping that you to go look at the whole project north of there too, so there's not another place like this.
Sure. Yep. Not a problem.
Okay. Thank you.
Bryce, since we're doing a lot of mowing, and they're on those oil roads, might be important to let those mower operators know, if you see something, please turn it in, because they're the one that's gonna see it. We don't have a maintainer out on it.
Sure. No, I've told all my guys that, you know, that's why I've talked about the blade men too. If you're out there, if you see something, let us know, you know, and driving down the road, it's the same thing. But yeah, we definitely want to keep track of this, because yeah, the last thing we want to do is have a wreck because of something that might have been prevented. So, but it's interesting that if we've had this location and we've had at least 2, based on what we're hearing, wrecks or accidents, whatever else is, you know, I guess my concern is I want to figure out why in this one location, what's going on. So, but I'll sure check into it.
Thank you, Bryce, and I'll get with you after the meeting.
Okay.
Thanks, Bryce.
Yep.
That's all.
Yeah. Well, I think you bring up a good point, Randy. I mean, I think it goes in the personnel too. I mean, cost versus service. Let's make sure we have quality for the tax dollars that are spent. So that's countywide. Anybody else have anything on this agenda item? All right, I'll move it on to public comments. I believe there was one that came across.
Yeah, Nathan Bruner is on, and he had a comment about the fire team for the fire district.
Okay. I think we already, it was from Ramona, right? Yeah, we already addressed that, but he's more than welcome to speak up if there's anything else we need to know.
Nathan, are you wanting to comment? You'll need to unmute, there you go.
Yeah, I didn't have any other comments. I just didn't know if you guys wanted me to describe a little bit about what's going on with Ramona and our water supply project that we're going to be doing that we're asking the county for help for.
I think Bryce had indicated that we've done it in the past and had no issues, so everyone here felt pretty comfortable to go ahead and make that contribution elsewhere in the county that's equally.
Okay, that sounds good. Maybe in the future when the project gets a little further along, we can kind of give you an update of what's going on and how things are going, and maybe a little bit more about the project later.
Nathan, this is Randy. Now, if you ask me to
Yes, sir.
dig a mile of ditch or something like that, I don't know, we may have to come back to the tables, but no, what they did up there was just help set the tank and dig the hole.
Yeah, that's basically all we're asking for. And in return, it's going to be a little bit different than what other projects have been in the past. We're going to set this tank up not only for fire suppression needs, for fire department use, but we're also going to have landowners and businesses and the county would be able to use this for water supplies for projects that they have ongoing, especially prescribed burning in the spring and fall. So it will be a good, reliable project for not only the fire department, but for the people in the community and the county to get it all set up.
Where's the water supply coming from?
We have two different options. We're not fully done with it yet. It's either going to be a underground water supply on a float system, or we do have access to rural water with rural water district number 1.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
And it'll be a 36,000 gallon tank that will be buried, and we'll constantly have that filled and ready for water access. The main purpose of it is to have water for our needs for the fire department, especially with constant issues that we have with trains blocking the intersections and the tracks there at Ramona. So we'll constantly have water supply and not have to rely for incoming fire departments for mutual aid.
Good deal.
Thank you, guys.
All right, thank you. Is there any other public comments? Okay, go ahead and close that and go on to commission comments.
I got a report on the fishing dock.
Yeah?
Okay. Last Monday at 1 o'clock, Ben returned a phone call from the week before. He's told me that he has not ordered the floats yet because he had to be back here to unload them himself, and nobody else could receive them at his place, which after seeing his place, I could see that. So I told him that I would receive them at my place. He wanted to at no charge and get them transported to the lake at no charge. I didn't get any response back. This is all a text.
Oh, okay.
And then he just texted me a minute ago, said, I texted him again last night, saying I had a meeting today, I gotta give a report. He says he's gonna be back next week.
Okay.
End of my report.
We were going to send him correspondence with it.
It was kind of a twofold process. The thought was if he was in touch, to certainly invite him to come meet with us and see if he was doing anything in that time frame, and like within a week or so. And then if not, after Dave had gone and invaded his space, if nothing there, then I was going to go ahead and send a letter. I can still send the letter just saying, hey, it's my understanding.
I think we need to probably.
Yeah.
He said I'll
I'll
be
just
back next
proceed
week, I
with
don't know
that,
that's
yeah.
Monday or Friday.
And I waited a few days, and I'm glad he did get in touch. I didn't expect that he would, but I'm glad he did.
I sent him a text yesterday afternoon, Sunday afternoon. He just now answering back.
Mm-hmm.
And if he's in California, he's 2 hours ahead of us, so
Yes.
it wasn't too late last night.
Right. Okay.
That's why I look at it.
Any other commission comments? I'd like to put an exec session on next week on the 13th for non-elected personnel. personnel performance.
I've got one more at the lake. They had a great turnout for the showy feed on Saturday.
I hate that, I understand it had to go out for bids just for, but we would have got the electrical hooked up had we not had to go out for bids. We ought to have had it done a week before that. That's neither here nor there, but I just saying.
Yeah, just try and protect yourself.
Well,
Gotta
sometimes.
follow the rules.
Yeah.
Government.
Well, it wasn't, it's not
Yeah,
government,
no,
it's not government funded.
everything was working. They had generators, and I didn't hear anybody say anything about electricity, and all the chili was hot.
So, but the guys are out there today, just
Okay.
update on the county lake. So, alrighty, no other commission comments? Any other items? Okay.
I assume you're not taking any action on the appraiser today?
No, there.
Okay.
No.
Just let me know if I need to
Nope.
put something on for next week.
Yes.
It needs to be on,
Yeah,
it needs to be on next week.
Okay.
So, with that, I'll make a motion to adjourn. Second by Randy, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 4-0.